Top of the morning to you folks. Michael here. Grandkids call me Roo. Thanks for being on Roo Doodles Live. It's Saturday morning, and I don't know what day it is. It's probably the what is it? What is today? 22nd. It's April 22nd. Holy smokes. Where does the time go? Why do I even ask that? Because no one can answer it. We didn't create it. So there you have it. I'm glad you're popping on the show today. I don't know where you are in the Southeast. I'm going to look at, or not even in the Southeast, all over the world. But I will tell you about the Southeast. It is raining today. It started out as just a sweet little, almost like a summer rainfall, like this. And then you start to hear it build up. You maybe seen that old thing where people start, and then a minute ago it was like pounding in the street. But leaves are full, hot afternoon, sometime in June, sitting on the front porch, waiting on the moon, talking to my neighbors next door, ain't never ever very much fun. You know that song? Of course not. Roger Miller did it in the late 60s, I think. It's called The South. And they call it the South. And it's the land of the free. It lost the only war it ever fought in history. And I love the South, and it's a home for me. It's the land of hush your mouth, your South, and that's home for me. Great song. She was born in 52, finished in a Mississippi school. Something about her smile that turns me wild. Okay, got a little painting to do today, so here's what's happening on the desk. It's showtime. Let's go. I'm going to paint a rooster's head that I painted recently, and I liked it so much that I think I'm going to attempt it again. And it's got color in it. It's a little different than this. And I have, if I remember, if I don't, I'm going to say hello. I'm going to show you a pen. I said you should never say never on a painting class. I never do that. I never use those. I never go there. I never say that. I never use that paper. Don't do that. You might just have to use what you have close by, but I was searching for a particular pen, and I reached down inside a box, and I pulled this pen out thinking, oh, that's the cap of one of my Preppies. It feels like a Preppy fountain pen. And the pen popped up is not even a Preppy at all, and it goes back almost 10 years, and that thing still writes. I'm going to tell you about it in a second. If I forget, somebody say, hey, knucklehead, there's a pen in your pocket. If you got a question today, would be a good day to bring it in. I'm going to put a little piece of music, and I'm just going to say hello. Can I play again what I just played? It's called Four Trees. I don't know why, except the trees this morning, honestly. The leaves are full. Welcome to where I live in the Southeast. Karen Binder, thanks for being on. Binder, Bender, Schminder. Beverly Schmidt, thanks for being here. Donna Sell Barton. Love having you on the show. Linda Schleitning, always from beautiful Ohio. Thank you for your note this week. And thank you for the sweet note that I'll pass on to Lily for her mission trip this summer. Thank you for all of you. I've almost sent out everything. I think I only got 1 or 2 paintings left to get out from the auction. Thank you for assisting my sweet Lily Bug so much in her mission trip this summer. She's got a couple other jobs she's working right now to raise the rest of that money. And it's awesome. So she was so excited. Talked about it all week. Bert Crone, watching from Knoxville, Tennessee. My friend, I grew up there, so I know it well. Gene Anthalzer, welcome to the show. JJ Dask, welcome. Ann Westra, Jason Nicholas, always good to have you on the show, my friend. Thought about you this week and had someone out of the blue who I didn't even know watched this show ask me, hey, how's the bridge painter in New Jersey? So there you have it, man. Don't you love it when that happens? Let me turn this music down a little bit. Marie Piker, thank you for being on from warm and sunny California. You guys get up awful early out there, and I appreciate you so much. Heather Kuhlman, also from the West Coast. Kathy Morrow, good morning to you. Jess Aries, need some yellow on the chest. Who, on that penguin? No, he's not an emperor. He just had a little bit of the balloon rubbed off on him here. I do. The Emperor, though, he does have a little yellow gold on, orange on his chest, and also a little spot of orange right here. This is just a quick little pin deal that I did, and his balloons got away from him, and he is saying, "Ah, shoot." And this is still, I'm still probably under 15 penguins. This is my favorite so far. I've still done one on this, and it's, oh shoot, you can't even see it. Sorry, you're looking at something else here. Let's get to the desk here. All right, so there it is right there. There's the penguin right there. Here's the one that I like the most. It's on a sample piece of watercolor paper from Hahnemühle watercolor paper. Get some samples of this. Had to have Hahnemühle, Hahnemu. Hahnemühle. It means it's a rooster. He's holding a bag, and this one's going, what's DoorDash? And see, it has fish in it on the bag. So I just thought that'd be a little funny in here. So, and that is, by the way, you said yellow. Did you see it there? Yeah, a little yellow orange right there on his chest. That was already there. But he could have also been rubbing the balloon against him to get the static electricity, because I know that's how those penguins get charged up. Shoot, it says. The balloon's flying off. Yeah, that's on a little piece of, here, this is on my little scrap paper that I doodle on. There's a little sheep. And no, he doesn't have 4 legs, so don't start sending me notes now, but oh, shucks. Love this little paper. It's showtime. Let me move that over. Let me put my penguin back up here. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but I was finishing saying, so Jess, thank you very much. I've never been to South McMurdo Station, Antarctica. Oh, you were stationed there. Holy smokes. Woo. Okay. Get your mucklucks on and your parkas, winter parkas. Alice Durham, thanks for being on the show. Deborah Tauber, June Jones, Cheryl Brock, thank you for being on today from Northern California. Man. Hey, Sue Kane, is she on the show? There she is. Hey, Sue. Welcome to you, Sue. Joe Brown, blessings to you, my friend. Terry Tardy, good morning out in Coos Bay. Joe Brown's just a little closer than you are. He's only about 30 minutes up the road, I think. Dorothy Beasley, Tom Brzezinski, look at that, peeking in from a sunny coast of Maine. I thought of you this week, Tom. I look at your sketches almost every day as I plow through some of the Ruse Crew stuff, and man, you can make a pen sing. It's just pretty awesome. Jacqueline Browse, good morning to you from snowy Minnesota. I don't know what to say. I'm glad you live there, and I'm glad you love it. That's all I got to say about that. Heather Koopman says, my hubby loves that black and white road. Dang, he looks good. He might need to go out and get just a black jacket and some black pants and a white shirt, a little button down, and just wear it out one day. And maybe when he's framing that, to put it on the wall, that'd be good. Lisa Predecessor, thank you very much. Okay, Carol Todd Mundy, welcome to the show. Ricky Govers, Batisanan. You know why I don't say your other name, right? That's the reason right there. Okay, Denise Albright, welcome to you. Marlena Davis from Rhode Island, and Evelyn Davis Morales, thank you. Sandra Stone. You can make a pen sing. Yeah, he can make a pen sing. He can make a pen sing. And I haven't heard that anywhere. I just said it. All right, so here we go. Let's paint something this morning. And thank you all for being on. I hope you got a cup of tea with you. I do here. I'm back to drinking Builders today because I'm going to tell you about this pen real quickly, and then I'm going to show you something with it. Okay, how many times have I said I don't use a roller ball, or I use a micro roller ball, which is basically the needle tip. There's a little ball in there, okay? But not just a roller pen that I would pick up like a big pen. All pens that put your thoughts, your words, and your doodles on paper are good. I don't care if it's a pencil. How many times have we gone through this? I don't care if it's a piece of charcoal you get out of your fireplace, a paper clip dipped in something. It doesn't matter as long as you're putting something creative. I believe when it goes from here to here, and these two get mingled, and then it runs out your arm and goes down here to the paper, I think you have the ability to create. I just think we're wired that way. I was in Greenville. I say I'm in. Sounds like I was just, I'm in now. No. We were walking across the footbridge in Greenville, South Carolina. and go off around the little river district there where the river comes through the town, that beautiful little downtown area. And Greenville, oh my gosh, let me just tell you, Greenville changed. It's just gorgeous. There's a little art store that I walked in, and this dude had just black and white sketches all over the place. And so first I felt like, hey, I need to bring you some color. Are you doing okay? But I did it as kind of a fun thing to just catch his attention. And he had laying on a small table, and it was almost a bistro table, so it was higher up. So it looks like he's sitting in a stool. He had some journals, and I had my journal with me. Then I was painting in some blue lines, had a moleskin with me too, but he had some moleskins lying there. And I said, you mind if I look? He said, no, they're there for people to see today. It's kind of an open house. And I opened them up and I saw the most beautiful, dark pen work. And I thought it had to be done with a fountain pen. There was not a lot of, he didn't carry a brush, so there was not a lot of shading. It was just this beautiful hatch mark line drawings that were just gorgeous. And I said, okay, obviously, you have to tell me what pen you use. And man, he turned on a dime and said, let me tell you. And I thought, oh, this is going to be good. And so I opened up my journal and I reached in and got my little pen at the time. And then I was painting with a, I don't even remember what kind of fountain pen it was. This was before I had my Safari. It doesn't matter, but I had my little fountain pen there. It wasn't Kakuno. It was way back before that. Probably some pen that just quit. The reason I use the pens that I do today is because I think they're light maintenance. So if you ever want to remind you what those are, it doesn't mean they're the best pens in the art world. No, some people don't even like them. You know, I use the Pentel Intergel needle tip. I love sketching with that, the 5s and the 7s. I know Denise and some, maybe even Chris Whitaker, sometimes they'll use the 03. To me, if I use an 03, I might as well just be using an X-Acto knife and cutting the paper because I talk about having a light hand, but it's not that light. Just the weight of my arm, see, cut the desk in half. So he said, I paid a lot of money for this pen, and I thought, oh my gosh, here he goes. It's going to cost me a fortune. But he was just kind of pulling my leg a little bit, as they say in the South. He's getting ready to turn the table, and he said, in fact, the pen was so good, I bought 2 of them at once. And I bought them at the dollar store. So they're 2 in a pack. So I guess they're costing me 50 cents each. And I went, wait just a second, show me the pen. And so he takes out of his pocket this pen. And he says, it's called I don't even know if they make this anymore, the R2 Rollerball, and it's an 07 millimeter, okay? And I'm thinking, okay, I've had some roller balls. I have one laying up here on my desk today that I'd love to find a refill for to sign, you know, those silly little receipts that you get from the restaurants that are, here it is right here. I'm trying to find a refill for this roller ball right here. It's a Pentel early on, Pentel 08. I mean, this thing is like riding with the end of one of those highway cones. That's what it's like. And so I had a pen like this, but it skipped and missed. And anyway, so I run down to the dollar store and I go in, and sure enough, in a blister pack, there's this pen. It's called the R2 by INC. I don't even think they make it anymore. So, but I just wanted to show you what it does. Just to say that you never know when you're going to come back in touch with something that is just a beautiful pen. Take a look at this pen. I want you to see what it does here. Take a look what's going to happen here. Come down with this and maybe another little piece and draw this fountain pen just a little bit here. Even though it's not a fountain pen, I'm going to draw a fountain pen with it. And take a look at the bleed on this. Here it is right here. So I'm just going to take some down here. You know how I like to hatch mark all this out like this. Okay, let me grab a little bit of a brush here. This is a 4, and just come in here and just start fading. Look at this. Oh my gosh. And take a look at how this thing bleeds. I mean, it'll equal my Safari fountain pen for bleeding. However, it does start to dry, and so it's going to leave a lot of the lines in there, whereas that fountain pen ink will generally blend on out. So you got to be careful, Tom. This is not one you get surprised with when you're out painting the airliner, the plane you were painting recently, which I loved, by the way. All right, so there's that little idea of how fast that pen is. So this is a R2 INC ink. I don't know what that stands for. It's made by, but it's a company Let's see what it has written on it. Just for you, those of you, it's called the Lord of Mercy. I have no idea what this is. Peachtree Playthings. What? And it was 2015, so I wasn't far off on my time. So I was a little later than I thought it was. I thought it was 10 years ago, but pretty dang close. 8 years ago. What is? Oh yeah, I guess it was. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted you to see it today. I found it, and I forgot once. I used it once this weekend. I messed up something but it's great to just sign those receipts with, or just you need a bold signature on something. That's it. It's an R2, and it's '07. So I wanted to show you that today, just as a pen that you might find at the dollar store for you pen snobs. 2 for 50 cents, 2 for $1. So there they are. Pretty cool though, huh? It's got a great little drawing concept. Jason, you'd be all over this pen in a heartbeat because your left hand would come in and do the Tower Bridge. I mean, I can see you right now doing the Statue of Liberty torch with this, man. That thing would come out of there like flying. It would just, you go like, yeah, I want that pen. So there it is right there. Okay. All right. I'm going to throw that down there on the floor to let it dry. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper and I'm going to show you what I'm going to paint today. I'm going to grab some Kilimanjaro. I hope you're well. Hey, if you got a question today, I have the R2. They still sell it. That's fantastic. I know people who journal prefer the R2 from the dollar store. So see there, nothing, it's been all that time. It's been hiding in a box over there, and I'll throw it back over there in a minute and put it in the box, but it's pretty fun. I do have a pocket today. It feels kind of fun, but I reached in there last night to get a fountain pen, and I went, this isn't a fountain pen. But it's a great heavy journaling pen if you're putting in a lot of words. And for people who I do more art with my fountain pens than I do journaling, because journaling with just a fountain pen, the ink has to dry a little bit. This dries a little faster than my fountain pen. So that's all that kind of stuff. If you have some questions today, put a QQQ or something with them. How's your 7-foot lobster going? You know what? It's all final sketched out. I went out and I made some sketch changes, and I actually went out and I took my sketching pencil. Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is right here. Let me show you my sketching pencil. This is all the way from Italy. Here it is right here. This is let me move this color so you can see it. There's my sketching pencil. Okay, maybe you all know about these. This is the graphite that goes in it. You push it down and the collarette opens up, and then the spring pulls it back, and there it is right here. This is some kind of sketching pencil. When I'm really working on something that's huge, I'll just lay into it like this, and you can hold it really in your fist, or you can hold it kind of like this down the finger, so you don't have to get in there and squeeze tight. You just kind of get a grip on it, even hold it like this, turn it over, and you get this great little concept of just sketching ever so lightly with it. And it just really is fun to see what it does when it sketches. It's so cool. And so Carol brought me this from Italy, and I thought, what's a small art watercolor guy going to do with this? Well, this is what I sketched out, and I've roughed in a lot of pencil work with this, and I even pushed a little harder on this canvas to get some of the graphite in there because I want to leave the pen behind it. So thanks for asking about that. It's still coming along, and I'm going to have a sneeze right here in a second. Wow, how about that? Welcome to the world of washing the pollen down today. All right, here we go. That's a question. If you have some questions, I love answering them on Saturday mornings if I can, and just having a little time to run on the R2. There'll be a run on the R2. Peachtree Playthings. Is it still out there? Somebody looked it up. $125 now. Wait a minute. How can it be $125 at the dollar store? So go in there and just at least start an argument, a discussion. I shouldn't say argument, but discussion. Say, this is $125. You go, are we at the dollar store? How can this be? So I'm going to give you $125, and you're going to give me 25 cents back. Is that right? So that way it works. All right. Here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to paint this. I got a little idea for a painting here, and I haven't used tape in a while. I'm going to do some. Bless you, Ruth. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. Roo! Skeeter Pal's on the show this morning. Love having you on the show, Skeeter Pal. Greenville, South Carolina. All the dollar stores are no longer $1. That shows you how long I've been to one. We used to, when we were traveling, sometimes we'd go through a little town and they would have a dollar store. And we were thinking, what are we going to do tonight with the kids? You know, we're traveling. And so we would go in and we would give each of them $3. And they got to buy something for themselves, something for us, and something for a brother or sister in the family. And so they got $3. And so they had 20 minutes to decide. And then nobody could see what they were buying. And then that night at dinner, we let them sort of present, okay, I bought this for you. And you go, oh, you shouldn't have. I mean, it was my money in the first place. But then I bought this for you. So it was that connecting something wacko or gift or funny or sincere, or it's a fun deal. If you haven't ever done it with kids, it's still worth $1.50 if it's $1.25, whatever. So. Andy McBean says, just got my Crossways Gospel for John. Looking forward to Good News Reel on Tuesdays. Thank you. Love to have you there. Inflation hit the dollar store. All right, so here we go. Hey, I put this tape down here on my leg so I could block this off just a little bit. So I'm going to come in here. Let's see. How far is that? That's right about, let's just split it in half, kind of close to half here. Let's just go half. Now let's squeeze it in. I like it a little tighter. What is that? Is that 5 inches? I'm just guessing. I don't know. Oh my gosh, 5 exactly. Wow, that's scary, isn't it? And let's go in here about 5 by 5 on this little head like that. And then I'm just going to get creative here, and I'm just going to rip a piece of this tape and put it right there. And rip a piece and put it there. And I don't want these to be even or symmetrical. And you got to wonder why, right? All right, let's put a piece of tape there. Let's see what else I got here. I could probably come down. I think I'm just going to put a piece across here like this. That'd be cool looking. And then let's come in here with a little piece and just kind of rip this one down too and let it go right there like that. Let's make that one a little messier. There we go. That's perfect. Okay. That's perfect. Okay, so I don't really know what I was thinking there, but I'm just going to let it think. I just woke up and I thought, just tape something very wacko, and now let's sketch on it. I'm going to sketch on it with a 07. You know, I should just sketch on it with this roller ball and be done with it. Here it is. This R2 into business today. A ruler, at least back in the day, that helped us stubborn minds. Creative tips in these stubborn minds for students who are resistant to sketch their weekly building sketches. Ooh. Yeah. All right, here we go. My rooster that I painted, do I have a copy of it up here? I don't think so. It's just going to be a head here. This is going to be a little coffee piece that I wanted for, somebody needs this on their wall for coffee. So here it is. I'm just going to do the beak here, and then I'm going to do just his wattle here, and a little piece coming out where the wattle connects. And then I'm just going to do that little eye that I do. And then come down here and start to build a little of this out like so. And I'm not going to do much more than that. Might go around this piece of tape right here, and this one, and this piece like that. And then come down here like that. Okay, so there we go. What about this little corner? Perfect. Okay. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Let's see. Now I'm going to grab some. I'm going to grab spray these colors. All right, I can put some music on to paint this with. Let's see, what can we do here? A little something. What's Andy playing here? Hey, I'm taking the colors here and just a little spray bottle. I'm holding it off to the side here because I don't want to spray any on my page yet. Just giving these a little bit of a wake-up call. So these are my palettes. Look, the only reason I'm still painting with the 6 colors basically that I always paint with. I just doubled up the reds and the yellows. This is an Indian yellow. This is my gambos. This is just still the orange. 2 different brown tones, and I did add a gray in there, and I think that's a Getz gray, G-E-T-Z. And then this is buff titanium. This is titanium white. This is French gray, and then there's 3 different greens. There's an olive, and there's a more of a foresty green, and there's a spring green. I've got Terry Tardy turquoise right here. And this little pan right here is just a pan that I will mix my 2 yellows and reds in to create the leg for that. That is a lamp black. So that's what you're looking at, my Lodge. Thank you, Lodge. They're not a sponsor yet. Lodge for my Lodge palette with Cheap Joe colors in there. So that's where it is right there. That's how all that works. All right. And I've got this little plastic cut with magnets on it that just snaps down over it just like this. Boom. And there it is. Boom. There it is. There's my palette idea. These are called full pans, not half pans. These are half pans, people. Just remember, I just do this crazy stuff because it helps me. I don't do it because it's cute. I don't do it because I'm crafty. No. I'm not even doing this tape because I'm crafty. I'm just thinking outside the box. I'm just doing what I try to tell people that I do when I do classes. Push the envelope. This is how you learn. Do not be afraid to fail with watercolor. Holy smokes. Come on. What are you going to do? Just waste a piece of paper? Okay. All right. Doesn't matter. It matters someday. It doesn't even matter on Earth Day. Somebody told me it was Earth Day, and I went, oh, really? All right. I thought every day's Earth Day. When you wake up and the Earth's still spinning and you haven't been flipped off into the ocean. All right. Here we go. So I'm just going to throw some purple out there like this because I feel like this rooster needs purple, some purple, a little more water in there, just like that. Just let that kind of come over. I think I painted one like this when I was up in Black Mountain that I really liked. In fact, I'm somewhere it's around here. It's got, I think it has, think like an artist on it. I'll have to dig it up. All right, I've dropped a little piece of orange in there. I want to go in and I want to grab a little of this gamboge here. What happened to my music? It just got started and you stopped on me. Let's play that again. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to come down with a little bit of yellow right here. And then I'm going to come in with some of my Joe's red here like this. And I want a little bit of yellow on top of that red. I just want some, I'm going to come in here and grab some and just some water and drop it right in there. Wow, that's so, that red is so strong on this paper. This is 140-pound Kilimanjaro bright white, 100% rag cotton. So now we're seeing kind of what happens when you throw that in there. Got to have some Terry Tardy turquoise right in here on the back of this roux, coming in like that, I think. Maybe a little touch of this beautiful, I believe, I don't know what color this is. It's, who knows? Sorry. And I think I need a bamboo brush. I'm going to go in here and grab a little bit of this blue and just create some more blue right here. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to create some blue down here too, just in this, around these pieces of tape that I put in like that. Phyllis Diller roux. There's some truth in that. You know, I met that lady and played with her in a film many years ago. She laughed like, she was a trip. She said, she turns into this creature in the film that I was in with, and she said, I play the creature she turns into, and she said, I heard you're pretty talented. And I said, my gal, or I heard you something. Anyway, we got into the old My Gal Sal routine. My Gal Sal. And I said, I heard you're pretty talented yourself, Miss Diller. She was a trip, I'll tell you that. All right, so I'm going to put a little of this brown right in here just to catch a touch of that. And I'm going to splatter that with some like this. And here's why. You'll figure that out in just a minute, I think. I think I want a little more of this blue coming in just right here. So, how about that for a fast little painting, friends? Now, where's he going to go with this is the question. I just thought of this morning, so I don't know. I literally, about 6:30 when I woke up, I thought, you know what I want to do? I want to tape off a piece of paper. Really kind of weird. And then I want to make something out of it to go next to the coffee pot. So here we go. Getting ready now to clean this act up. Here it goes. I'm going to give it one more second to dry. In fact, before I start getting my hand in it a little bit, I'm going to take this and bring this in and maybe put just a little pin work in here, just like this, just a little bit of pin work. All right. Do you most create in the moment or have a game plan? Well, great question, Jason. Yes. I know I'm going to do a rooster. I know I'm going to do a bee, a shrimp, a crab, or something, but something has to connect that story for me. This started with a coffee story, and I thought, what would I think would be creative? So this one had a little bit of a loose plan. What would I think? And I don't even know if this will work yet, okay? I haven't seen it unveiled. In fact, I'm stalling here to let it dry. If I don't have my hairdryer up here, I need one, I guess. I think what happens is I have a plan of where I want it to go. I was thinking this would be creative, and I did something like this a long time ago where I did a coffee roux that had an arrow pointed down to coffee. Because you walk in the kitchen and you go, where? Oh, there it is. You know, people generally know to go look under the counter or for a Nespresso or a K-cup or a French press, but sometimes, you know, like in our kitchen's small, we do. I would put our kitchen up against any kitchen in the country that for the size of our kitchen, how in the world is so much food turned out of this kitchen? Well, it's because, one, I have a wife who is into hospitality and serving people meals. And I mean, it's just crazy. We covered our entire range up, and I'll have to show you, I'll post a picture. We covered the entire range up with this frame that I built, and then these 3 pieces of slate on top of that. And then the whole thing became 2 boards on top of that, which became a charcuterie board the other night for these men. And I said, hey, you get a free prize if any of you men who came to this, there were 10 men that showed up, could spell the word charcuterie. Or even an extra prize if any of you have ever done a charcuterie board. And so I said, I did the shopping. I came up with the idea of charcuterie for this. Not it was an original idea. I just thought we should do it. But Carol had the artistic eye, and I'll have to show you what we did. So that plan takes place as you go. And so that's why I love changing on the fly, Jason, is a good question, is that let this thing get out of hand a little bit when you're painting. If you're always so pre-organized, pre-planned, predestined to just make the same mark that you've made before, it's not that your art will become boring to other people, because everybody doesn't see your art, but it might become boring to you. So for me, I'll just stop and change gears midstream. And so that's kind of how that thing goes. Here's I'm ripping this tape off, and here you get it just like this. It's all going to come down to see what it looks like when it's ripped off. And here's this. Kaboom. I need a little bit of assistance here. What am I going to use? And here is this. Look at that. Now, what is it going to be? Now, where's my big old pen I'm going to use? And I think I'm going to use a fountain pen. I'm going to go for my big, this big old bold fountain pen. This is the medium point Metropolitan Pilot, and I'm going to do it right here like this. I'm going to go, whoop, that's still wet, so I'm going to have to wait on that. All right, so hold on. So I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to do... I'm going to come in here right like this, and I'm just going to draw an arrow like this. So, didn't know I was going to do that until just now, if that answers any of your questions. He just drew an arrow right there just by hand. Didn't draw it neatly, just drew it. But it's red. Why? Because I want it to, by the way, I'm dry brushing a little bit so it just kind of feathers out. I'm not even going to finish it. I just want it to look like it was an old signboard that got away from somebody. And so that's fine right there. There it is. Okay, there's the arrow. I'm not even going to finish the back side of it. I might just add a little piece on that corner right there that looks like it chipped off. Done with that. Finished. That's two planned. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then maybe come in here with this and drop a little bit of ink on this. Let me see if I can get this pen to just put a little bit. Nope, it's not going to do it. All right, where's my number 3? Here it is. No, that's a number 2. I've got a number 3 Preppy up here somewhere. They generally will just drop ink right in. There it is. See that? The graphite ink or carbon ink will generally just come right over the watercolor just like that. And so there's this scratched up little ink or arrow that just looks kind of fun. All right. Here, I'm going to paint something here while that dries just a little bit more, and we'll get into finishing that color up. I've seen Michael's wife spread food on Facebook and wish I lived closer. Yeah, you do. Ice idea with the tape. Nice or ice, both. It was an ice idea, but it was a nice idea too. So most of the things I know where there's somewhere in the painting, in the beginning, or as I get toward the end a little bit, there will be a plan for a story. Remember, I'm not going to venture too far from art needs to tell a story. I don't care if it's a tiny doodle. I don't care if it's a great work of, I don't care if it's a masterpiece from the masters, from the Dutch masters. It doesn't matter. If you're in the gallery and you look at the hunt and you look at the game and you go, wow, there's a pheasant here and there's a couple of hares and there's HARE, rabbits. There's a couple of dove there. The hunters have been out. The cheese is there. You know, the cheese boards that are in the southern fox hunting days. And you look at all that and you go, man, a great day was had here and a celebration was had here. Whether you like meat or not, you got to realize they made a study of this and someone propped it all up and painted it still life because it was important to them. That story has to be told. Portraits tell the story of that person. You hope that their eyes connect. And so you want your watercolors to connect in somehow. If you just throw something out there and it's just like, boop. Look, Cubism at some point in time connected, whether you liked it or not. In fact, I said this the other day as you were looking through my journal. Some people were, it got bad press, but the bad press brought in more people. And because of the more people started doing it. And so it's sort of just, press is press. How do you distribute some of your storytelling work? Okay. How do you say, I love this city. I painted this city. I love these flowers. I paint these flowers. Last night I sat at the table. Carol and I have cooked so much food here. We said, and we were with the grandkids. She was with the grandkids yesterday afternoon. She got home and I'm thinking, hey, let's go get a late dinner somewhere, just something light. So we ran down to this local place, and the guy comes out. His name is George, and he says, hey, you're Rue. And I said, and who are you? And he said, I'm George. And I said, well, how would you know who I am? And he said, well, one of your paintings is in our kitchen. And I said, well, is that going to pass the health department? And he said, no, literally, I think you gave it to one of our waitresses or wait staff. And I said, is that L? Just like the letter L. And he said, yes. And he says, she was bragging that she has 2 or 3 of yours. And I said, well, we eat here sometimes, and I do these little doodles on small paper or on my little pieces that I cut out of my watercolor paper, and I just leave them. It's a great way for me to express thank you, say thank you, and somebody always has a birthday somewhere. Does anybody have a birthday today, by the way? If anybody have a birthday today, let me know. And so, is this the pen? I don't know. Hey, if there's a birthday on here, just go ahead and somebody tell me or post it in somewhere. Or throw a Q around it. Just say Ricky. Hey, thank you, Ricky. I love it. I love that. Scroll back up. If somebody's having a birthday today, just send me your name on the comment right now. Boom, got a birthday. Here's a little something I painted at the table yesterday for a couple that was having a little birthday deal, and they got up and just left. And I went, okay. And they didn't know I did it actually, but it says happy birthday, and it's B number 931. So if you got a birthday, paint on the corner of the table and then tear it off. Yeah, Chip Fur did that. Never mind, wooden paste photo. So if you got a birthday, if you've had a birthday this week, put it in the comments right now, and I'll take the first birthday that shows up, and we'll go from there. Okay. So, all right. Now I'm just coming in here. This is getting dry enough now to write on almost. Now that I've jabbered enough and answered some questions. Closest birthday to today. Yeah, who's got one? Closest to today. Throw it up there on the corner. I'm gonna and then send me an email and I'll drop you this in the mail. I'll just put it in a little envelope and we'll take a chance with it. I won't put it in one of my big folded envelopes. So it says happy birthday, and if nobody's had a birthday this year, somebody's in trouble. I can give it to myself. My birthday's pretty close to today. All right. So here's what I was planning on doing with this this thing right here. I was planning on just going like this. Where's my pen again? I laid it down. Shoot, here it is. Okay. Friend of mine, Ellie, is turning 60 today. Mine's not until September. Mine is April 28th, October 23rd, just saying. Let's see. Closest to today would be Friday, April 28th. That's a week. That's 6 days from today. Dorothy, you're in. Gotcha. So Ricky almost sent it to Ellie. She's turning 60 today. Mine is May 6th. You need to remember to sign your B series paintings. I was gifted 3 of them yesterday and none of them were signed. Seriously? They're not signed? Did I just leave that off? I am so sorry. Okay, there's your coffee count right there. Boom. Done. Look at that. Fun little thing for your coffee pot. And let's put some coffee splatters on there just for fun. I didn't know how that was going to come out, to tell you the truth. I still don't. Here's some little brown coffee splatters, though. Let's see. I don't want to hit on that brush. I want to hit on a pencil. You got a pencil here? Here's one right here. Okay, let's just put a little bit of coffee splatters on this just to break those lines so that nothing's too hard or tossed in there. And I want another piece of purple right here. I felt like that orange almost took over. So I don't know what that orange was thinking, but I wanted that purple to come through here. All right, so there you go. Hot, fresh, and now. There it is. Let me sign that down here before I forget. RueDoodles.com. Denise, I am so sorry. If you want to send those back to me in a small envelope, I'll pay for the postage and re-sign them. Sometimes in auctions, when I see them come together and I have help getting them mailed out, I am so sorry. Rats. Okay. And who am I always preaching that? So, Denise, I owe you one. Dorothy Beasley, if you'll send me an address at ruedoodles@gmail.com, ruedoodles@gmail.com, I'm going to send you this little bee, and we'll go from there. So there's my painting today for a little coffee thing. And so how easy could you do this if you didn't want mine? Somebody, I'm going to sell it to somebody, probably today, maybe today. That would be, and here's what I would do. I would slide it in my little paper cutter like this, zip, and I come in about right. Let's see, I need to come the other way, I think, just so I don't mess it up here. Come into about right here. Boom, right there. That's about a ½ inch over from there. Come down and block it in square right there. Ha! Done. There it is right there. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Now, what I might do just to he might, as he says he will, just kind of come back in here and grab a little of this edge. I didn't like that taped out so abrupt there. I like more of this blue in here, and I think I need a little spot of orange right in here, just like the splatter. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, and then a little orange right there, and a touch right there. And there's your coffee room, man, with in a little shadow thing with just a little black, thin black ring on that. That's going to be really cool. It says coffee. Where's my coffee pot? Oh, I see it. Never mind. It's hot. It's fresh. It's now. And so I just put some marks there where you can continue to mark that out if you want. So, have some fun with that. Okay, that's going to be my auction room today. There's another shot of them if you want to see it. Beautiful. Okay. Happy Saturday, Elaine. Good to have you here. Purple headgear must be a senior rooster. I get it. Yeah, I'm going to start making my hair look that color anyway. I'm thinking that Prince wasn't that old. Okay, he was purple, right? Okay. You see how fast this took place it wasn't that I wasn't trying, but I was trying to be loose. So I didn't just go, da, da, da. It wasn't abstract. I had a process, but I also just ripped the tape and painted around it. And then look, when I took the tape off, look what happened. Don't overlook something simple that we've talked about since the words that I started this show. Holidays. Okay? Be willing to do a few holidays. I got to come in here with my pen now and put in the little nostril and then just some little dots in this and bring back a little bit of squirreliness here. I want this to kind of come down. I want him to just kind of be like, it's early morning and I need the coffee. And so some of these little loose hair for me is what I see when I wake up and I go, dude, you better go get some tea. You better go get some coffee. Now I'm dragging this roller ball through this purple paint here. And so these little bitty pin marks that are coming down are bleeding that purple down there for me. And you can see how that's kind of working. You really can't, it's hard to really see those from where you are. I don't know if I can come in close enough on this or not. Oh yeah, maybe. There you go. Take a look. You see that right there? Those have just that purple hint to them. And more than a hint, they're kind of bold. And so I love how this sort of turns out. And now I'm going to go back here where this is dried a little bit. That pen's still not going to write over it. This one will. You're going to learn a lot about your pens when you do something like this. You're also going to learn about what happens when you get, there we go, when you get watercolor into the end of one of these fountain pens. So what you do is you just go in there and you put a little water in it, just like that, and then you use it on the paper. I always that's why I put this paper down here. So at the end of the day, I've done, I've doodled all on this to clean up my pens. There it is. That's pretty cool. Okay. Bleary-eyed morning shuffle. Awesome. I love it. Thank you very much. Okay. And by the way, here's the size of this. It's going to be 5.5 by 9. So roughly a 6 by 9. So you're gonna mat it a little bit to get you out to a 6 by 9 painting, and then put it in. What I do on stuff like this is I use I float it in between two pieces of glass, and then just let them equal it up so you see your wall. Let's say you're going to put it on, put a little one of those sticky things on your subway tiles or whatever you have above your coffee pot. I'm not telling you how to hang your art, but I'd want to see the subway behind that too. So you could do that. You could do like the restaurant I just gave a painting to a while back, as in 4 years ago, and they put it next to their coffee espresso machine. It's at Roosters, and she brought it over and said, "Look at this." And I go, "What did you guys do? Did you use it as a bar towel?" She says, "No, it's by the frother on this on the espresso machine." So there's my painting today, right there. I like it. Let me go back a little bit here so you can see the whole thing in its entirety. There it is, right there. I'm going to pop a little of this out because it looks like it's his eye, and it's not. There it is, right there. That little black was bothering me right there. So, all right, throw it down there in the floor. And the bee is gone today. Boom, he's gone out. Don't forget how fun these are to scribble on and paint on. And so they are just fun to do, okay? The penguin that came up today was Shoot. And there goes his balloon. And just taught my class and student teachers about holidays the other day. Wow, how fun is that? Thank you. I feel honored and flattered that you learned a simple little technique of saying, hey, we don't have to fill up the whole page. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Laura says, never mind, wooden paste photo. Yeah, that's probably this show won't post it into me. So, did I miss any other questions on this Saturday morning? Let's see. QQQ. Yeah, Rube. I'm sorry about the dadgum cotton picking not signing those. Whoops. And I lost my rats. Lost my board. There it is. Okay. Let me go back up. Mary Hamilton, I don't think I said hello to you. Martha Palmer, welcome to the show. Deborah Spangler. All right, glad you guys are on the show today. Blessings for being here. Ruth Fulton, thank you. Carol Todd Mundy, Renee Keese. I think it was Renee the other day that had a Cheap Joe's box on her doorstep. All right, so this is the scrap piece that I had from from that other piece of artwork, and I'm just going to leave it on the splattered side. You see, this is where I did those splatters, and I'm just going to come in here, and I'm going to do that rooster that I love doing. That's just black and white, and so the one looking back, he's just one of my favorites, and sometimes I forget how simple and fun. How's that pen writing for you? Simple and fun he is to do. And so here he comes right here. He's coming down like this. And then he's got this out here. And then he's got this leg that comes down like this. Skinny Roo. And he's got this leg that's sort of just hanging around the farm here. And it's coming back in. And so that's my Roo right there. There he is. And so I'm going to put him on some fountain pen crosshatch. I want to see my art grounded. It needs to be in touch with something, so it's not just floating out in space. It's part of his story. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually reach over here and grab a bottle of my this is not ink, but it is it's called Carbon Black Liquid Watercolor. This is by P.H. Martin, so that's there. I should have a bamboo brush here somewhere. I'm going to use a small one, and I'm just going to start putting water into this. I got a few minutes, a little music, and then we're going to paint this out here. Here we go. If you don't do this once a month, you're going to forget the joy of entertaining a grandchild or somebody with watercolor. They're going to go, I just don't see how you painted that rooster so fast. What? How did that work? And I'll go, you're just not playing enough. So here he goes, okay? All right, get ready. This happens before you know it. Letting the water sink in there for just a second. Push a little right into there. You probably can't see where I'm pushing it, but I didn't push much. In fact, I'll add some once I've done it. So here we go. I'm going to start with 2 drops. I'm going to start with a drop here, boom, and I'm going to start with another drop right there. In fact, I may just touch it down right there, and then I'm just going to let it sort of just go. Come on. Come on. Then I'm just going to use the sharp edge of this number 1 bamboo brush, this Yasutoma brush, and I'm just going, I literally am barely sweeping this across right here. Just putting a tad bit of pressure on there. Remember, this is liquid watercolor. It's not ink. You could do this with ink and it's going to dry differently. It's going to dry just a little differently. Sometimes you can just flip this brush in, and then I'm just going to grab it down here and splatter something like that. I'm going to leave all these holidays right there. I'm doing my best right now. I'm fighting against everything in my soul to go back in here and clean this up, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to grab a little bit of this. Just come in with a little touch of that, and now a clean brush with just some water, and come back in and make this just work right here like this. Same with here. This time I'll do it a little different. I'm going to add a little water. I got to be careful here because this black is going to take over and run up in there if I get it too heavy at this point in time right there. So I'm just going to touch that down. Same with this. So this time I want a little color before water because I want the watercolor paper to grab this paint before it takes off. And I'm going to put a little touch of yellow right there, and then a little up in here like this. And now I'm going to go into that pan here. I'm back over here. Look at this. This is why I said I use my palette like this. I'll grab a little gamboge. I'll put it in this half pan here with a little touch of this Hot Mama Red. Mix it in like that. Maybe sometimes a little French gray. Just touch of gray to it right there in that pan. You see it kicking in there? Maybe a little more red on top of that. I don't want them pink, but I want a nice little softer color. That's perfect. I don't want them orange. I don't want the chicken feet to look like they've been cooked. You know, lobsters really aren't orange until you cook them. There are people who go, hey, you need to paint that lobster orange. And I go, who said I had him in a pot yet? I don't. And so that's kind of where this thing comes in. You get an idea of what that looks like. Now for me here, I'm just going to take this, and still got 5 minutes. I've spent almost 4 minutes on this painting. And part of this is no plan to have this painting done today. So Jason, there's part of your answer. No, I wasn't planning on doing this. I just had time, and I thought, it's good to have a black and white. Another one out there. By the way, I'm going to spread this brush out a little bit like this. Take a look. Just open it up with my fingers. See that right there? And then I can come in here and grab this and just make the grass just like that. Come on, really? Who thinks of this? People who build these brushes, okay? Covering those lines is all I'm going to do right here. And this line right here I drew, so I'm going to cover that and then come out here. Okay, and then splatter a little more and come back in here with a little of this. Now what has happened is this black has run into the red right here, and I'm going to let it alone. Yep. Put the brush down and back away from the easel. I'm going to grab a number 7 Pentel needle tip right here, and I'm going to come in and go right here. Put some veining in, put a toenail on the back. And then I love these little black strands of grass that look like they're shadowed in there. And if I want a little more shadow, I can go get it right here underneath him. Come up in here, a little more better toenail right there. Some hair follicles. Put some veins on this with a couple little toenails coming down like so. There. If art ain't fun, stop doing it. How do you know when you're done? Probably before you know. So that's a great question. In the last minute or so I've got here. How do you know when you're done with a piece of art? How do you know when to put the brush down and back away from the easel? And it usually is like a minute ago, I said I'm fighting all my temptation to go back and fill this in. What was missing, though, was that I had left some pen open lines here that I wanted blocked in with ink. And so I went back and drug a little of that in. When I did move that, I got a little bit of this red into this black. But eventually the black's going to take over, and I kind of like it. And this blew up into the wattle a little, or the comb a little bit, and I kind of like it. So I'm just leaving it. The other thing is, usually before you know you are. So get in the habit of stopping and putting it down and walking away. In this case, I don't want to walk away and just leave you sitting here and go, where did he go? Did he go? So come back and look at it. It's good. As much watercolor is on this, it's going to stay wet for a while, and I can come back in and jump on it a little bit, and I can change it, okay? So you get an idea of where, like, this was a one little whoop, and I know I shouldn't touch that again. Just let that alone. You go like, oh, wow, I should thicken that up a little bit. As soon as you do, and Japanese or Chinese artists will tell you this with a bamboo brush, as soon as you try to go back and add to that, even if you're painting those bamboo brushes, those bamboo stalks, when you try to go back and duplicate and do over, you're going to mess it up. You need to get it on the first take. So this is where that little light brush comes in, and you just go, whip. So that little piece flew out there like that. I don't care. Nobody else will. I'm splattering it anyway. This little piece here went bloop. It caught a drip. But it just looks like a little round part of a hackle feather or part of a tail feather that a piece broke off of. If you look at feathers, they have those little circles in it. So I can explain away anything in this piece of art. It doesn't mean I'm a used car salesman. It just means that I'm kind of happy with where it is. If I look at this now in 2 minutes, I'll see one thing that I also should do right now. And someone says you can take a picture of it and you'll see things that you hadn't done. That's true too. But I see something right here where this leg is not really connected to this body. And sometimes I will come back when there's a little more drying, and I'll either do one or two things. I'll add a little more yellow right here. See where my brush is down here? I'll add a little more of this leg color right there just to tie these things together. And then once that dries, I may come in a minute and grab a little bit of black. And I just hit it while I was telling you what I was going to do. And now I've tied it together. Same here. So now that leg is connected to the body. And so those are pieces that I may even photograph a piece of art and send it out on auction, or send it to, get ready to send it out. And hopefully I'll remember to sign it. Denise, I'm so embarrassed by that, but I'll get over my embarrassment if you'll send them back to me and let me make it right. I'm so sorry. My B's should be signed and numbered, and so please send them back. Okay, so that just ties those last two pieces together. That just gives you an idea of how that works. And so I wanted you to see how I do that. If in a minute these legs do not look like they're orange enough, I may come back with some of that same color and brighten them up. And if I need a touch of orange in there, I might could do that. Well, the other thing that I could do is add a little touch of purple in here. I like purple shadows a little bit just because they work. I'm going to come in with my piece of paper towel and just touch that beak because it has some black coming in it. But I think I'm finished. The only thing that I will do here, the only thing I'll do when this dries completely, I will come back with this. And I will redo this veining in the toes just so it's a little more detail. And I don't do detail work, but I like to have little pieces in there. When people look at it, they go, oh my gosh, he didn't forget the feet. He actually put the little veining in the feet. And so I sort of like those pieces. And this is not ready to do yet because it's still just a tad wet to do. You can see the veins are there. But I'm just moments away from it as soon as this show's over, which it is now. All right. So, gives you a couple little ideas. This one is going to fly out on auction today. This one right here is just a little bit. Here's your coffee roof or your coffee machine today somewhere, your coffee station. and how easy it is for you to do. Hey, look, maybe it's a flower. Maybe it's wake up in the morning. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe it's a bird. Maybe something. You do your own rendition of this. This is mine. It's going to head out. And that's what this is all about, inspiring you to think outside that box. All right. Have a great weekend. I will see some of you Tuesday morning on Patreon. 8:57 is Good News Rue. That's on YouTube. There's some videos there. If you want to see what I've been doing, there's some videos you can see for introduction and what it takes. There's also 2 live videos there, so you can go to the live and it would have them dated. That's YouTube Live. That's called Good News Rue, and I'm doodling through John, the book of John in the New Testament. The Patreon class is Think Like an Artist, and that's Tuesday morning at 9:37 also. Okay, after I do my Good News Rue. So blessings to you all. Have a great weekend. And love your styles. Love what you guys are pulling together. Thanks for being a part of what I do on this crazy show. It's time to be out of here.